Alright, today we're going to explain division. Partitive division is where you start with some things and give an equal amount to a fixed number of groups and count how many things end up in one or each of your groups. So let's take the problem 7,836 divided by 12, for example. Here, our 7,836 are our things. And let's say that our things are cookies. And our 12 is our fixed number of groups. And let's say our groups are friends. So the question that we want to answer is how many cookies will each friend get? Alright, so on the left I have how we normally do division. And on the right I've set up a way how we can see what we're doing step by step. So let's start. Let's first start with looking at our thousands place, so our 7. And can 12 go into 7? Can 12 go into 1,000? Well, we don't have 12,000 cookies, so no. So what we're gonna write is we're gonna have 0, 0, 0, and 0 because we have 0 sets of 1,000 cookies. And so we're going to subtract that, and we're left with the same number that we started with, which is 7,836. And what that looks like over here is you just draw a hypothetical 0 here, which you don't necessarily have to draw when you're doing long division, but we're just going to draw just so we know how this relates to what we're doing over here. Next, we are going to focus on our hundreds place, or our 8, and see if 12 can go into 7 can go into 800, and it can multiple times. So if we've done our math, we can see that 12 goes into 7,836 6 times, so that leaves you with 7,200, and so that's 6 sets. Of 100, and what that looks like over here is you just plop a 6 over your hundreds place, put your 72 down, and let's subtract. So here you would drop your 6 down, drop your 3 down, and you would be left with 636. Over here you would just drop a 6 down because we're just looking at 72 minus 78. But it's really 7,200 minus, or 7,836 minus 7,200. So next we are going to move on and look at our tens place, which is our 3. And so we're going to see how many times our 12 can go into our tens place, our 63. And if we've done our math, we know that goes in 5 times, so that's 5 sets of 10. So that would be 12 times 5. And that would equal, which is really 12 times 50, which would be 600. And over here we would put our 5 over our tens place, drop down our 3, because that's essentially what we were doing right here, because it was really subtracted by 7,200, so our 3 just dropped down. And so here we bring down our 3 and subtract it by 60. And here we drop our 6 down, and we drop our 3 down, and we're left with 36. Over here we're just left with 3 because we're just looking at 63 minus 60. Finally, we're going to look at our singles place, so our 6. And we have 36 left. And if we've done our math, or if you know our math, we know that 12 goes into 36 3 times, and so we get 3 sets of 1, which is really 12 times 3. And so you get 36. Here you would plop a 3 over the singles place. Drag down your 6, because like we talked about with the 3, you're really just subtracting by 0 this whole time, so you follow it down and it goes down all the way. So you get 36. You're going to subtract it by 36, because 12 times 3 is 36. And what do you know? You get 0. And so 7,836 divided by 12 is equal to 653. Let's go over how this really worked. So if we go back to our definition, which is you start with some things, which was our 7,836 cookies, and we gave an equal amount to a fixed number of groups, which was our 12 groups, or our 12 friends, and we counted how many things end up in one group. So if we look over here, we saw how many times we could put 12 into the thousands place, which is 0, because we don't have more than 7,000 cookies. So then we moved on to our hundreds place, and we found out that we could put 6 sets of 100 into our groups, which is really multiplying 12 by 6, or 12 by 600, and so you get 7,200. Subtract that, and you get 636, so then you move on to your tens place, and you find out that you can multiply 12 by 50, or you have your 5 sets of 10, and you get 600. Subtract that, you're left with 36. And we know that 12 goes into 36 3 times, so you have 3 sets of 1, and you end up with 0. Over here, it's just a simplified version of that. We leave out our unnecessary zeros. So we have, if we look at it, we see that 12 goes into 78 6 times. So you subtract 78 by 72. You're left with 6. You bring down your 3, because here you can see that you're subtracting it by 0, so you can just bring it down until you need it. And so you multiply your 12 by 5, you get 60. Subtract that from 63, you're left with 3. Bring down your 6 for the same reason you brought down your 3. You get 36. Multiply 12 by 3, you get 36. Subtract 36 from 36, and you end up with 0. So your answer is 653 cookies per group, because we started with some things, or 7,863. We gave an equal amount to a fixed number of groups, which was 12, or 12 friends, and we counted how many things ended up in each group, which is 653 cookies per group.